Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about installing a Shoreline onto the Promaster. I discovered that I needed to have a Shoreline connected to the van. Heat, air conditioning, and I'm tired of coming up with gadgets to use through the front window. I'm not comfortable with that. This is nice. It's kind of insulated, but I'd rather have the window up rather than struggling with the wire. This is something I can just plug in the rear of the van. What I want to do is place this in a location that will be easy to use, and that would be like right about here, if you can see that. I'm going to drill a 2-inch hole in that area, and then I'm going to wire through the van. I don't have to make a hole. I found that there's a place that actually you can put wires through the other day. I've had this since 2019, and I just discovered that. That area is here. It's all hollow behind this, which makes things easy. I'm going to drill a hole, 2-inch hole on this side of the bumper, right here. And then I'm going to mount that, and then right here on the Promasters, this is a little opening. You can see I've already got my trailer lights through there, so I don't have to compress them here anymore, which is going to damage it eventually. So the power lines will go through here. I'll just wire it through, snake it through. It's not a big deal. And then I'll have shore power whenever I need it, but it's hidden otherwise, which will be nice. This little gadget, it'll go on the outside of the van. This will be flush. And these wires, which are already wired, there's 2 of them, which is nice. They will be on the inside of the van. They will be hooked up to this, which is a 4-outlet box. It's an overload guard, so I can protect everything and hopefully lessen the chances of fire. And from this to the front area, I'm going to have a 15-foot cord for heavy-duty use. This was expensive, but I'd rather have a good cord on the inside, given the fact that I'm going to be using a heater generally and or portable AC. So that's going to go on the back of the van. That was like too easy. This should fit right now. May as well test that. They go in, that goes in, and oh yeah, it's gonna mount like perfect. This is gonna be great. And they have stainless steel screws that will allow me to pin that, and then this just pops up and there's the outlet. So first things first, I like that angle too. It'll drain just in case. This is supposed to be waterproof, but you know how that goes. This is gonna be flush too on each side. Anyway, there are the wires. I'll wire those through, and this should be a really quick job. Basically just want to get that edge on the exterior off, just so it's pretty flush. And I think I've done that. Whether or not I've held the camera well is another issue, but let's get this in first. I'll worry about the camera later. All right, it's pretty flush. That'll clean up nice. What I'm going to also do is put a bead of silicone, just a small bead right around here, just to keep the water out. It really doesn't matter if it gets wet or not. It's meant to get wet, but I mean, it just can't hurt. The silicone's on. It doesn't have to be pretty, because what I'm going to insert through that hole should cover it up. I just want it to seal. If it comes out a little bit, I'll just wipe it down. I'm not really too concerned. So that's in. I'm just going to clean up the excess caulking around it, and then I'll go ahead and begin the process of wiring it. You can see I pulled that grommet out, and I've wired these through that. What I'm going to do to make this even easier is pre-connect piece coming from the inside to one of these. I'm going to leave one of these open. It's dry in there, and then I should be in pretty good shape to wire the rest inside. So the idea is I'm gonna wire this to the outlet that I just put in on the exterior. I'm gonna connect this before I have to do the work on the inside, so it'll just snake right in, already connected. And because I'm a safety guy, I try anyway. The older I get anyway, it makes sense. This box is an on and off. I'm going to leave it off actually right now while I install it. And it's it's basically for overload. It'll prevent that from happening, since the stuff I'm going to be powering here is going to be a heater and an air conditioning. I want to be safe. The other 3 outlets that remain, if I have a problem with the 12 volt, I can keep the refrigerator on. I can do coffee, whatever. This will be power, and that's assuming I have a Shoreline to hook up. So I've kind of pulled that box external wire into the rear section. I'm in the back left of the Promaster, and I'll show you a different angle. There's that plug that's going to go through this hole, and it's going to drop down to the outside, and then I'm going to hook it up on the outside, then basically hopefully pull it all the way through until I'm back on this interior section. And I've gotten that out through that hole. So now I'm going to hook it up to one of these and then seal it from here, and then begin wiring inside. And this is really easy. It's not really wiring. I mean, it's an extension cord, but a lot less work this way and probably a lot safer. There's less connections that I'm making since I'm not an electrician. This probably is a safe way to do it. And as you can see, I've put this grommet back in. There are 2 of those extension wires. My taillight wires are here. So this is good. It's sealed away from the weather. And on the outside right here, I've got the outlet. So far, so good. Now it's time to wire it inside, and I should be in pretty good shape. I'm gonna take this, and here's the box. Now that's already plugged in, so it will be hot once I plug the Shoreline in. Then I'm gonna pull it forward as much as possible. I had 8 feet to work with, so that will put that in the vicinity of the coffee maker when it's in, the refrigerator when it's, if I have a problem with solar and I don't have power, I can now power it. And one of these outlets I'm going to use for up front, which will be used for either an electric heater or a portable AC. And I think I'm going to tuck this like right here, right between. I could probably actually hang it, but I probably won't. I'll put that right there for now, right on the ground, and then run this to the front. So I now have shore power, and I guess the next thing to do is hook it all up and test it out. Okay, so that is now in this box. Now I've got to wire the rest of this heavy-duty contractor cord, which I spent a little more money on, but again, if I'm sleeping in here, I want to make sure the last thing that happens is a fire. Supposedly when this is hooked up, there's a light on the end of this thing too. I'm going to basically wire this behind the seat, and I'd like it to come through here behind my front seat, so that way it'll be easy to hook up to either the air conditioning or the heater. So it is now wired from that back rear driver's side between the tire well and the little refrigerator, behind the seat, and it is now here. So I've got plenty of room up here. This is nice. This is the little heater that a friend of mine gave me, which was really cool. Well, it's actually kind of warm. So one thing to remember is safety the whole time. And what I did to try and keep this as safe as possible is every part that I just installed, I plugged in the house and tested it for an hour. I wanted to know if in fact things would heat up, the cords would heat up, the connections, and all that was fine. So I wanted to kind of minimize the guessing or the unknown, I guess, while I'm sleeping in this thing. I don't need to rely on fire alarms, smoke alarms. I don't want to use my fire extinguisher. So I think we're in pretty good shape. Now I've got to run a Shoreline out to the van and give this thing a test. And here goes nothing. I'm going to plug this guy in. I use heavy duty Shoreline extension cord. So, all right, this is in now into the van. That's good. And what I'm going to do is make sure that the box is turned on. Remember, I turned that off for safety. Okay, got power. Everything feels immediately nice and cool. And I've got, notice I touch everything with the back of my hand. You don't just grab things. There's a light on the end. And so now I'm gonna plug that in. That's the heater. And see what happens. Not smart to do it with one hand, but there. Okay, this should have power. Let's see what happens. Uh-oh. Okay, it's as high as it'll go. I'm gonna let that run for a few seconds and then again check the temperature and everything. I don't smell anything on fire immediately, which is always good. Now I'm gonna run back out and just feel the cords. If there's a problem, they might be hot now. So that's warm only because of the sun. Nothing feels hot back here, which is good. Let me run back inside and let's start feeling the lines here. That's cool. That's cool. The side should be cool. This may be hot. Nope, that's cool. And that's pumping hot air. All right. Off. Okay, I'm satisfied. Boy, that was easy. That's it. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did and this helped you, if you have a Promaster or a van that you're going to do this to, keep it safe, keep it simple, try to keep it cheap as possible, get a fire extinguisher, make sure you have smoke alarms inside the vehicle. That said, if you like this video, please hit like, please subscribe, share it with other folks, and come along with us for another wild journey, or in this case, a project that I thought you might want to see.